everybody join us, most of you virtually. We do have a pretty good crowd here on the fourth floor with us as well. So appreciate everybody making the time and the effort to be here with us this morning. My name is David Martin. I'm chair of the Commission on Teaching and Administrator Education, Certification, Licensure, and Development, the Commission. Present at Central High School Building, fourth floor boardroom, 359 Northwest Street, Jackson, Mississippi, 39201. This is a regular meeting of the Commission being held today, Friday, July 7th, 2023 at 10 a.m. pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated 25-41-5. Some Commission members present via teleconference. Notice of this meeting, which included date, time, place, and purpose of the meeting and identified the location available to the public, has been posted. An audio recording is being made of this meeting, and minutes of the meeting will be recorded. Item 1 is our call to order, meeting being called to order at 10:01 a.m., Friday, July 7th, 2023. Next, we'll establish a quorum. As I call Commission members' names, please state the location of your presence. Reminder to unmute yourself if you are joining us electronically. Jamie Creel. I know Jamie was going to be absent this morning. Rebecca Gray. Get to unmute yourself. I thought I saw you up there. Come back to Miss Gray and check on her. William Hamilton. Is our system working on our end? Mary Hill Taylor.
Morning, Mary Hill Taylor, Bailey, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. John Howard.
John Howard, Atlanta, Georgia.
Kim Hubbard.
Kim Hubbard, Flowood, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Teresa J. Rowe.
Teresa J. Rose, Starkville, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Burnell Kelly.
Burnell Kelly, Gulfport, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Teresa Poole.
Teresa Poole, Jackson, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Shelley Simmons. I believe she was going to be out today. Ms. Etta Taplin.
Etta Taplin, Ruth, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. Dylan Baldwin.
Dylan Baldwin, Jackson, Mississippi.
Sir. William Murphy.
William Murphy, Dunn, North Carolina.
Thank you, sir. Aaron Wilson.
Aaron Wilson, Jackson, Mississippi.
Thank you, sir. And we'll go back and check on our first two. Rebecca Gray. William Hamilton. All right, if they log in later, be sure to let us know, but we do have enough from quorum with those we have marked present. So a quorum of the Commission is present at the location stated for conducting a meeting through teleconference means. Move on to item 3, approval of the minutes from the May 5th, 2023 meeting of the Commission on Teacher Administrator Education, Certification, Licensure Development. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion to approve, Kim Hubbard.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Teresa Poole, second.
Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to item 4, approval of hearing subcommittee minutes from the May 5th, 2023 meeting. Subcommittee members present on May 5th were myself, Ms. Taplin, and Ms. Poole. Those will be the ones allowed to vote on this one. So we'll entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Teresa Poole, motion to approve.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Second, Etta Taplin.
Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 5, hearing subcommittee minutes. Poole and J-Row are both here, so we should have enough. Jamie out. Subcommittee members present on May 25th, 2023, Teresa Poole, Teresa J-Row. So that'll be the two we need to speak and vote. Jamie is out this morning. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion to approve, Teresa J. Rowe.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Second, Teresa Poole.
Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of hearing subcommittee minutes from June 21st, 2023. Subcommittee members present that day were Etta Taplin, Jamie Creel, and Mary Hill Taylor. Entertain a motion for approval.
Motion for approval, Etta Taplin.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Second, Mary Hill Taylor.
Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to item 7, adoption of the agenda. That'll be today's agenda. It got sent out earlier this week. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Dylan Baldwin, motion to approve.
Got a motion from Mr. Baldwin. We do need a second.
Aaron Wilson, second.
Second, Burnell Kelly.
Got a couple of them. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to item number 8, Mississippi Department of Education updates. Dr. Corey Murphy.
Thank you, Chairman Martin. Good morning, members of the Commission. I'll begin today's MDE updates with a high-level overview of shifts within the Office of Teaching and Leading in response to the insights and feedback gained from stakeholders. And so, as you know, for the last 6 years, we've been on a journey to offer multiple professional on-ramps and off-ramps in an effort to increase Mississippi's educator workforce quantity and quality. And so through those efforts, we've launched initiatives or efforts such as the Educator Shortage Survey, the guidelines for educator preparation, providers, process and performance review, Mississippi Teacher Residency Program, our performance-based licensure pilot, the Teacher Residency Survey, Teacher Retention Survey, Regional Education Service Agency-led professional growth system trainings, the MECA system, or the Mississippi Educator Career Continuum Archive System. And most recently, we've actually deployed or launched and placed in the respective congressional districts a congressional district educator workforce specialist that will afford us the opportunity to provide targeted and relevant assistance and support in the areas of educator recruitment and retention to education stakeholders in those respective congressional districts. More and more, these efforts highlight the interconnectedness nature of Mississippi's educator workforce. Recruitment flows into preparation, just as professional development flows into effectiveness, and so on. Therefore, the Office of Teaching and Leading has been restructured to now include the Office of Educator Continuum, which is led by Dr. Courtney Van Cleve as the Executive Director, to better support Mississippi's educators from recruitment to retirement. And so moving forward, the office will include the Division of Educator Talent Acquisition, Educator Preparation, Educator Effectiveness, Professional Development, and Educator Preparation Program Innovation to ensure Mississippi education stakeholders have access to the resources, information, and connections necessary to address current shortages and ultimately strengthen our educator workforce. And so at this time, Dr. Van Cleve will provide a few brief remarks to outline core responsibilities for the Office of Educator Curriculum. Dr. Van Cleve.
Thank you, Dr. Murphy. Let me check. Mike is good. Excellent. All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Dr. Murphy, Chairman Martin, members of the commission. As Dr. Murphy has shared the context and the charge for the Office of Educator Continuum, I'll be very brief in providing a bit more information on how the office will operate in an effort to ensure that every child has effective teachers and leaders every single day of their instructional careers. First, in the spirit of a true educator continuum, we will work to provide aligned support from recruitment to retirement, or from day one to day done, as we like to sometimes say, by working across the divisions of educator talent acquisition, preparation, effectiveness, professional development, and innovation to develop cohesive and aligned strategies across our area. Throughout our interactions, we will demonstrate just how much we truly value Mississippi's educator workforce by maintaining encouraging and responsive communication as we develop innovative approaches to current trends in educator workforce development and needs. Finally, we will strive to inspire Mississippi's education stakeholders to address current educator workforce shortages by facilitating collaboration, providing user-friendly tools, and keeping a listening ear for potential policy implications on our end. Because ultimately, and perhaps most importantly, we absolutely must believe in every individual's potential to be an effective teacher or leader by keeping our end destination in mind while remaining open to the various pathways and professional journeys that lead individuals into our schools and classrooms. And so with that, thank you again for the opportunity to provide that brief overview, and happy to take any questions or comments.
That concludes our updates.
I appreciate what y'all are doing with that. I like the data and the numbers and seeing what's going on, and I think we're trying to be proactive in a lot of things, and I appreciate that. And same thing with the work y'all are doing. The MECA system, I've heard lots of good things, I think. I don't know how y'all's rollover look with those spring graduations, but from our end on the K-12 side, that has been probably one of the smoothest licensure transitions that we've had in large groups in a long time. So appreciate everybody's work on that.
Glad to hear it. We'll keep those coming. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, move on to item 9. Approval to establish qualifying score for the newly revised version of Praxis Subject Assessment, Special Education Foundational Knowledge, Test Code 5355, as recommended by the Ad Hoc Committee of the Commission on Teacher and Administrator Education, Certification, and Licensure and Development. Dr. Murphy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Martin. As you know, each year, the Educational Testing Service, on an ongoing basis, they're refreshing or regenerating one of multiple assessments. And so last year we had about 6 assessments that were regenerated, and we had to bring before you in the State Board of Education to replace a current assessment. And so the same thing this year, but we only have one, and that's the special education assessment that was just mentioned. And so the special education foundational knowledge assessment, test code 5355, will replace our current assessment, special education core knowledge and application, test code 5354. And so the effective date for replacing a specific assessment will be September 1, 2023, and we'll discontinue the current version August 31st of 2023. As you know, in 2017, the Commission recommended to the State Board of Education, and the State Board subsequently approved a discontinued test policy that helps us to transition from the current version of an assessment to the new version. And what that means for the assessment that's being discontinued is that when it's discontinued on August 31st, those individuals who actually obtained the State Board's current passing score on or before August 31st of 2023 will have 2 years. They'll have until August 31st, 2025 to actually utilize that score as one criterion as a part of the licensing process. And so, again, this assessment is one that's being discontinued by the Educational Testing Service, and this is our plan for transitioning from the current to the new version of the assessment, and request approval.
That came from the testing service, so good job on that. I think that looks like a good plan. Entertain a motion for approval. Motion taken under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record.
Motion to approve, Jared Howard.
Thanks, sir. Need a second? Thank you, sir. Any discussion? All right, this time we'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to item 10, approval to begin the Administrative Procedures Act process to revise Mississippi Admin Code 7, Part 142, Career and Technical Education Licensure Guidelines to amend the Licensure Career Pathway 961, Healthcare and Clinical Services, and 989, Polymer Science. Mr. Robinson.
Good morning. I'm
Morning.
Brett Robinson, the new State CT Director. Appreciate the opportunity to come before you today. The two requests that we have essentially are to widen the employment pool for our directors statewide. The Office of Secondary Education is requesting approval to revise two career and technical education or CTE pathway educator licensure endorsements to become effective after State Board of Education approval. The proposed criteria for obtaining licensure in the following career pathway endorsement areas are outlined as follows. And so what we're requesting is for the endorsement 961, our healthcare and clinical services pathway. Currently, you have to be a registered nurse, either a 2-year or 4-year bachelor's registered nurse. What we are requesting is to include in that now being an LPN and allowing LPNs to come in and teach our healthcare and clinical services pathway. And then the second is endorsement area 989 for polymer science. The request here is that if a candidate currently holds a physics or chemistry 5-year endorsement, that we remove the required industry experience that is in the system right now. Right now, those teachers would have to have some years of experience when working in that industry, and what we're requesting is that only for our currently 5-year endorsed chemistry and physics teachers that we remove the industry requirement. Questions? All right.
I think that looks good.
That's it.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That may have been a side conversation. All right, any more questions?
I had a question.
All right, you cut out on us. Go ahead.
John Howard, this is John Howard. I was trying to get clarity. Did you say that we're removing the experience requirement for teaching a CTE nursing?
No, the removing the requirement of experience was only in the polymer science pathway. And what the request is that if a teacher holds a current valid 5-year license in physics or chemistry, that we would not require them to have experience in the polymer science pathway. That's the only removal of experience. For the healthcare and clinical services, they would still have to meet the experience that's required there. We're just adding the availability of LPNs. Instead of only registered nurses, it'd be registered nurses or LPNs.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any further questions? All right, entertain a motion for approval or a motion to take under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record.
Dylan Baldwin, I make a motion to approve.
Baldwin, thank you, sir. Need a second?
Aaron Wilson, second.
William Murphy.
I think Mr. Wilson got y'all on the second. Appreciate that, though. Any further discussion? All right, we'll call for a vote at this time. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, move on to item agenda number 11. Approval of the iTeach Mississippi as an approved educator preparation provider, EPP, non-traditional pathway to teacher licensure. Dr. Burson.
Good morning, Chairman Martin, Dr. Murphy, members of commission. It's nice to be here with you today. Unlike most requests that I bring to you around programs, specifically approval and modifications, today we're bringing to you for your consideration the approval of a new provider, Educator Preparation Provider, where you hear that acronym always, EPP. So today we have a new EPP that would like to begin providing services in Mississippi. This is iTeachUS. It's a non-traditional teacher preparation provider that offers a competency-based educator preparation program that combines the convenience of online learning with the support of face-to-face mentorship. iTeachUS was founded in the state of Texas in 2000 and is currently approved by the respective education commissions, state boards of education as appropriate to operate in Arizona, District of Columbia, Florida, Hawaii, Indiana, Louisiana, Nevada, Tennessee, Texas, and West Virginia. iTeachUS earned national accreditation for teacher education by NCATE in 2012 and holds national accreditation by CAPE, which is our partnering accreditor, in 2019. And in your backup material, what you saw was the requirements for licensure for these candidates to earn their 3-year non-renewable license in which they will hold while they are completing their 1-year internship. These candidates must hold a bachelor's degree, maintain or have a 21 ACT, or pass Praxis Core, or have a 3.0 on their GPA, or the last 60 hours completed. They have to complete the Praxis subject assessments in accordance with the licensure area being sought. They will complete 3 of the 8 iTeach modules that align with our current coursework requirements for classroom management, introduction to special education, data analysis and evaluation. They will be assigned a Mississippi licensed field supervisor, have an online recommendation by iTeach program director, and have their 3-year license. And upon that full year of teaching, they can apply for the 5-year license. They will, of course, have completed that 1-year residency, completed the other 5 modules consisting of the Road to Certification, Learner Development, Literacy 21st Century Instruction and Pedagogical Content Knowledge, Diverse Student Populations, and the Field Experience. Those candidates that will be seeking elementary education for 6th licensure must also pass the Foundations of Reading assessment. They have to be recommended by their iTeach Mississippi program director, and then, of course, apply for the 5-year license. In your backup material, you see the areas for which they will be offering certification. They include biology, 712, chemistry, 712, Chinese, K-12, elementary education, 4-6, English, 712, French, K-12, German, K-12, Latin, K-12, mathematics, 712, physics, 712, and Spanish, K-12. That concludes the presentation, and I'm happy to address questions if you have any. We also have Dr. Diane Huber online. She is the founder of iTeach, and she is on the screen. You can see her.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, I appreciate y'all doing that. I like the alternate routes. We were talking earlier before we got started that it's getting tough to find teachers for some of these, and I think we've done a great job of trying to do that. So with the iTeach program in particular, how have they done successfully in other states?
They are, they've been a really big contributor in Texas. Texas has multiple non-traditional programs. According to Title II reports, for the 2021 school year, academic year in Texas, they produced 2,220 teachers. In Louisiana, they produced 513, Hawaii, 49, Nevada, 27, and in Florida, 1.
Good. I think it's good to have some alternates there. Any other questions?
So are they
I
affiliated?
have a question,
Oh,
Dr. Burson. So who would be the Mississippi Program Director to recommend the I-TEACH candidates for the 3-year license?
I'll defer to Dr. Huber on this. According to the way we are looking at that, they would have a Mississippi-specific program director at supporting candidates in the state, and then the final recommendation would come from, I believe, Dr. Huber. Is that correct, Dr. Huber?
It was very hard to understand Mrs. J. Rose's question, but yes, I will be the acting director in Mississippi until which time we hire a state-specific director for Mississippi. The recommendation for certification is a combination of a collaborative agreement, consultation with the campus administrator, with the field supervisor, with the instructional team, and with the state director before a recommendation is made to the DOE. Thank you. And I have a follow-up question because the programs, even the alternate route programs in the state of Mississippi, use common assessments. Will that happen with I-TEACH? And Dr. Burson, will each of these programs have a program review by the Mississippi Department of Education like all of our other programs in the state?
Yes, Dr. J. Rowe, we will do program reviews with I-TEACH, but they will vary because we currently have the American Board for Certification of Excellent Teachers as one of our providers, and their program is specific to their entity. So while we try to make as much alignment as possible, there is some variance.
That answer your question, Dr. J. Rowe?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Poole had a question.
Hey, this is for, is it Dr. Huber?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is for Dr. Huber. This is Teresa Poole. So the coursework, are you associated with a university in the event I have a teacher who would like to transfer into a graduate program after they have are you associated that they're able to transfer these credits, this course hours into another program, or are those just a standalone just for licensure only?
Their program is...
Well, thank you for asking that question. Currently, I-TEACH has agreements with the American College of Education, accredited in Indiana. We have an agreement with Grand Canyon University and with Chaminade University in Hawaii, where our candidates may transfer up to 9 hours of their coursework into a master's program at one of those institutions.
Yes, Dr. Poole?
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you.
Any further questions?
I have a question. This is Aaron Wilson. I see here that the subject areas for licensure, a lot of them are directed to the secondary level, but what about a teacher candidate who probably wants to go and come into an area in elementary education below 4th grade? How would that be addressed? Like K-3 areas?
Well, again, thank you for the question. I'll be happy to visit with Dr. Bernstein on that. We offer pre-K and elementary in other states, so we can certainly do that in Mississippi. I think, as each of you know, for years there was an abundance of elementary teachers, and we really focused on the secondary, the STEM certification. But we are seeing more and more districts need that elementary teacher. So we have developed a more intensive methodology courses for our elementary teachers, and we certainly could work with the department to offer younger certification. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Mr. Wilson, I'll just add, this is just a starting point, and but nonetheless, that what you see here is what's being offered, and that's what we reviewed and currently approved internally for the most part as options based on the shortage areas for the most part.
Okay.
But we do have other pathways for adding the lower grades, the K through 3, in which the add-on that was approved by the board several months ago, and we have several institutions that actually offer the lower grades at this time as an add-on.
Any further questions?
Dr. Heber, I have one more, a follow-up. Dr. Heber, how many states are you working with right now with I Teach? We currently are working with 11 states where we have gone in and had specific state approval.
Any further questions? All right, this time we'll go for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself there. Long discussion. I lost track. Need somebody make a motion for approval or a motion to take under advisement? Please identify yourself for the record. I heard Ms. Hubbard. Need a second?
Second, William Murphy.
Murphy, thank you, sir. Any further discussion? Now we'll move for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for keeping me on track there. Moving on to item 12, approval of ratifications of agreed upon orders or voluntary surrenders. Mr. Scott DeYoung.
Thank you, Chairman Martin. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be very brief today, and that I only have one agreed order for your consideration, and that would be in the matter of Mallory Robinson, educator license 304764. On or about July 1st, 2022, the Office of Educator Misconduct received an Appendix C from the Rankin County School District alleging violation of Standard 10, which is the breach of contract. Respondent Mallory Robinson admits violating Mississippi Code annotated 37957 and Standard 10 on or about June 30th, 2022 by resigning or otherwise breaching her contract and abandoning a position with the Rankin County School District without first being released. Upon execution of this agreed order, the respondent shall immediately be deemed to have relinquished or otherwise surrendered her educator license to teach in the state of Mississippi and all privileges belonging to said license. The respondent's license shall be relinquished, suspended, or otherwise surrendered for a period of 6 months from date of ratification by the Commission. The respondent will be eligible for reinstatement upon conclusion of that period without the necessity of a hearing. That concludes the agreed order, and the Office of Educator Misconduct respectfully requests that the Commission consider these for ratification.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that work. Entertain a motion for approval or a motion to take under advisement. Please identify yourself for the record.
Teresa Poole, motion to approve.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a second?
Second, William Murphy.
Second, Mary Hill Taylor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition? Motion carries. Yes, a couple of you joined late, and we didn't have your location. If you would, we'd like to get that for the record. Rebecca Gray had logged in later. What's your location?
Hi, Rebecca Gray, President, Iuka, Mississippi.
Thank you, ma'am. And William Hamilton.
William Hamilton, President, Oxford, Mississippi.
Thank you, sir. And to everybody, y'all as well, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate those who came in person, those who joined us online, and thank everybody for what they do and getting all that done. The agreed upon orders, the new practice scores, everything takes a lot of work to get it up and running, but it is making it, I can see on the school side, making it easier and easier to get things done. So I appreciate everybody's hard work and dedication. Hope everybody's enjoying what summer we are having. We're all working on and off, but appreciate what y'all do and hope you enjoy that. We're getting ready to start another school year, so definitely excited about that. With that, we'll move on to item 13, our adjournment. Entertain a motion for approval. Please identify yourself for the record.
Aaron Wilson, motion to approve.
Thank you. Need a second?
Dylan Baldwin, second.
Baldwin, got a second. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Motion carries. Just for note, next regular meeting of the commission scheduled for September 8th, 2023. Meeting is adjourned at 10:36. Thank you all for being here.